Books taught me a lot of what I know about sex ed, but they also taught me a lot about my own body. So, here are some of my favorite books that I recommend to anybody looking to pick up a good read in the realm of sexuality. First up, The Seductive Art of Japanese Bondage by Midori. She is not only a stellar sex educator, but also a dear friend of mine. This is actually the first book written about Japanese bondage, written in the English language. It's got really beautiful how to's of how to tie some knots, but also some really beautiful photography, making it a wonderful coffee table book or reference book for whenever you want to get out the rope and get crafty. Female Ejaculation and the G Spot by Deborah Sundahl taught me so much, not just about my G Spot, but ejaculation, as the book suggests. I don't love that the title is gendered, like it could just be ejaculation in the G spot, but this is a very solid how-to guide for anybody who wants to learn more about G spot stimulation, ejaculation, and how to make that happen. It has some literal step-by-step instructions that are really to the point and effective. Love's Not Colorblind by Kevin Patterson is a really wonderful read that examines sex, dating, relationships, and racism within non-monogamy. And even if you aren't a non-monogamous person, you will learn a whole lot from reading this book. I could not put it down when I picked it up. And Kevin is just a brilliant writer. He's got a wonderful sense of humor, but also really knows how to address very important topics when it comes to dating. Revolting Prostitutes is a book all about sex workers' rights and current information regarding decriminalization of sex work. And if you've ever thought about how we can make the world a better place in the way we treat sex workers, this is a really lovely read. I have read so many trauma books, but Trauma is Really Strange is my favorite. Look how short it is. You can read it in one sitting, and it is illustrated. It's kind of like a short graphic novel about trauma. Every other book on trauma I have read, I have not been able to complete because when a book on trauma is dense, it is not approachable, but this book really does it for me. I learned a whole lot about myself from reading this book. Beyond Survival is a practical approach that talks about strategies and stories from the transformative justice movement. How do we solve violence, sexual violence outside of a carceral jail system? This book does a really good job of posing some questions for us to think about when we think about how we can do better as a society and take care of people and reduce violence outside of police brutality and prison. This book is supposed to be written for non-monogamous people, but trust me, it works just as well even if you are a monogamous person. It really helps you explore jealousy and how it shows up in romantic and platonic environments. Sex is a Funny Word is another favorite of mine. It is really intended to be a book for parents, guardians, anyone taking care of a young person that wants to be able to talk about sex in an age-appropriate way. It is very colorful. I love that page right there where you put your name on it. But it's got a lot of fun information, not just about sex and reproduction, but gender and all the ways sex comes up in a young person's life that makes them ask questions. This helps you answer those questions. Well, those are my favorite books. There are certainly a way more amazing books at Spectrum than just these ones, but maybe one of these piqued your interest, and in that case, happy reading.